Look, it's not that you should have more faith. You need more trust. As if in some sense you're lacking in having, put your mind to it and been sincere enough. That's a complete misconception. If you can have a complete misconception, you can have a perfect conception of it, can't you? But anyway, quite simply, your faith is a function of the extent to which you've reflected in thought upon the blessings that you've received. The more you focus on how blessed you've been to be living, say, to be experiencing, say, falling in love with someone, or this beautiful weather, or this fantastic scenery, or this lovely mum or dad, or wonderful pet, or sincere friend, or lovely car and beautiful house, or wonderful job. But the more you are appreciative, the more you trust in the benevolence of whatever you think the source of that benevolence is. I mean, I was in a situation, and I've said it before, of course, where I was on campus, alone. I was incredibly happy. I was reading Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, and I was just so happy. And I wanted God to exist so that I could focus on him and give him the thanks. I wanted to be thankful to someone. In other words, I wanted to give back. And if the universe was just random chance, I don't know, I couldn't quite just love the universe. I mean, I did. I loved my good fortune as I felt it. I felt it because I was actually in love with someone. They weren't around. I realised they'd wanted to love someone else, and okay, that's what I want for them then, because I love them. So you could say I was incredibly thankful to them, but I was unable to give them that thanks because I was not their partner. I just wanted to love God. I wanted him to exist, to love him for the blessings I seem to have received. And that was an amazing thing for me. What was my trust at that point? Oh, unlimited. I just felt the world was wonderful. Because of who? I just so hope it's because of God, so I can be thankful to God. And after all, he might exist. This gradually sort of dawned on me, I mean, I feel it as if he existed. I'm reading a book by someone who is absolutely clear God exists. So I could imagine him existing. And if he did exist, I'm so thankful to him. And if I'm thankful for all the evidence I'm experiencing, well, I'm trusting in it, aren't I? My whole heart wants to trust in it. to recognize the source and to trust and love that source. So it wasn't something I'd done. I mean, I felt, if you like, I'd done the noble thing in not hankering after this lady who I was, this girl I was in love with. Just letting her go, so that she can love the person that she does love. So I felt I'd done the right thing. That wouldn't in itself fill me with trust in God. I was happy, overwhelmingly happy. And that did make me want to trust in God. But do you see I almost want to say, the trusting God was forced upon me by my ecstatic state. Why was I in an ecstatic state? I was just so happy. I was so happy. I wanted God to exist so I could thank him for it and love him to bits for it in gratitude. Wanted to know such a wonderful person if he did exist. Do you see, I didn't do anything. It wasn't great practice or searching or longing or prayer storming heaven. It's the gift of God. Can you avail yourself of, I think is the word I want to use, very old-fashioned word. Can you avail yourself of this gift of God? Yes. Just notice whatsoever is good and lovely and focus on it. Don't preoccupy yourselves with everything that's wrong, but everything that's right and good. And you'll find your trust and faith escalates. Your whole being wants to believe and trust God exists. And if he doesn't, it somehow, I almost want to say, doesn't matter. Because you gave him the benefit of the doubt. You see, it's the one who's in love that's happy. The girl I was loving, whether she was happy or not, that depended on whether presumably her beloved responded the way she wanted. And hopefully he did. I don't know, I didn't know enough about it. I gather so. At least for a while. It's the one who's in love that's full of joy and hope and trust, faith, peace, love, glory, pouring out of them. And what better to love than the very personification of all you truly value in your heart, and that you trust that person, I'll say he because I don't have a better pronoun for it, and trust that he will lead you to a fuller understanding of who he truly is, all his goodness. And when you fall in love with such a one, such a person, who in your estimation has been so kind to you. Perhaps he exists. He exists, and perhaps he is wonderful. When you've fallen in love with such a one, well, you trust all that is good as you understand it, including their ability to lead you into knowing them for real, fully. This is life eternal, to know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent. How lovely. So, if you want this life eternal, come to know God. How do you do that? Whatsoever's good and lovely, think on these things. You will quickly rise. It's just astonishing. You will be transformed by such a practice. It won't take weeks. Take less than that. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. And you are blessed. In the story of Jesus, for this reason, he was sent to tell you that your God is your heavenly Dad, who loves you to bits. Trust in him with all your heart, soul, mind and strength. And you'll find that so easy to do. The more you notice and thank him for everything you see to be a blessing, not just to yourself, to everybody around you. That we have been engulfed in his loving kindness and provision from the beginning of time. What a simply wonderful friend to have. How utterly, unspeakably wonderful. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Thank you, Dad. Do you see in the Jesus story one man who trusts in God changes the outcome for the next 2,000 years and more, for the whole world? Wow. Who spun that idea? And what incredible consequence. And I would say, just from a story, the power of the written word. The word. Ideas in story form. Absolutely staggering. One person's trust in his wonderful God can change the whole outcome for humanity and everything living on the planet. How amazing. That example, the realization of that example alone will generate that faith. In anyone. Because it's the power of such thought. How do you gain such power? Whatsoever is good and lovely. Think on these things. How amazing! Try it and see. God bless you.